Hey guys, it's Eddie and I'm back with another review for you all today. Now today's review is just going to be a little bit different because instead of doing a movie review, we're going to be doing a TV review, a television review of the BBC miniseries And Then There Were None, based on the novel by Agatha Christie. Now this came out I think in December of last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I really wanted to do this review just so that I could basically, well, not promote this series, but to just tell everyone who hasn't seen it about it and hopefully get them to watch it, because it's just one of my, I think this and Wolf Hall are two of my favourite BBC dramas of all time. I absolutely love them. And it's in 3 parts, and a part of me wishes it had gone on for longer, but it was actually the perfect timing for the story. You know, I think if they'd have dragged it out even more, it would have been unnecessary. It was the perfect length, and without further ado, let's get reviewing. So I think And Then There Were None is possibly Agatha Christie's darkest murder mystery story, but I think it's definitely my favourite because of that. It's so eerie, you know, it's so hopeless. There's literally no way out for these people, and for those people who haven't actually read the book or seen the miniseries, I'll just give you a tiny rundown of the plot. So basically it centres around 10 individuals from all walks of life that have been sent mysterious letters inviting them to come to this house, which is situated on an island, Soldier Island, and they have been invited by a mysterious UN Owen, which is what all the name that all the letters have been signed with. So these people come together, and it's not long before murders start occurring, and it is not long before they realise that UN Owen is actually a pseudonym for one of the people on the island. So one of the 10 people is the murderer, and it's basically just a countdown of each person sort of dropping off and dying until you find out who the murderer is. And it's just such a thrilling concept. I absolutely love it, and I think it's such a classic tale, and this miniseries really executed it so very well. I was absolutely engrossed when it came on the telly, and it had a fantastic star-studded cast. I think you know, some really big names Miranda Richardson and Sam Neill, and you know, BBC resident Aidan Turner, who is also in Poldark, which I love as well. And I think each one of them was just absolutely so well fitted for their roles. They absolutely took the characters, made them their own, and they all played them so individually and so well. It was such a mix of people, and their characters were just fantastic, so well rounded. And the thing about those characters, the way each cast member played them, was that they really weren't endearing, or I didn't think so anyway. I mean, the whole point of these individuals is that they've been brought on this island because they've each murdered someone, either by accident or they have done it on purpose, you know, or they've done it to get money. And you know, none of them know this about each other, but they start to find out that they all have this in common. And yeah, it's the whole idea of it is that they're being brought to justice. And I don't think, I mean, Maeve Dermody, who plays Vera Claythorne, now Vera is, I think, and especially as shown in this miniseries, is just a fantastic very complex female character, and I absolutely love her. Like, as the story unfolds, we see so many different sides of her, and she's so brilliant. She's sort of smart and coy and manipulative all at the same time. Yeah, she's great. And but as I was saying, none of them are endearing or particularly likable in a personality sense. So yeah, it's just you feel like, in a way, they are being brought to justice, and it's right that they are, because they're not the nicest bunch of people, but they also are able to convey that sort of just sheer panic and uneasiness and suspense that really makes you think, oh my gosh, how would I be if I was in that situation, if I was in a room with someone who was undoubtedly going to kill me and I don't know who it is. It's a really scary concept, and I think the cast played that really well, and they really made sure that you didn't like the characters that they were playing, and I think that was the whole point of Christie's novel and Christie's characters. So that was brought brilliantly to the small screen. I thought that the soundtrack, the sort of haunting hum of violins, was really brilliant. It fit well with the sort of eeriness of the series, because there was this feeling of utter loneliness and isolation on this island. Like, they were basically trapped. So I think the soundtrack really helped to induce that feeling. It was really ominous and creepy, and I loved it. Another point of reference that I'll talk about is the scenery, like the actual direction, the imagery of the island and the rocks and the sea, and just like the far away shot of the house sitting on the island was so poignant and brilliant and beautiful, but in a really scary way, because there was literally, it made it even more plain that there was no way out for these people, and it was brilliant. Now, I will say that there were, having read the book as well, there were a fair few changes made to the book that appeared in the series, and it was the kind of stuff like, I think some of the characters who were murdered in a different way. So, for example, Emily Brent, played by Miranda Richardson, it's the kind of thing where in the book, she was, there was a syringe of cyanide, full of cyanide or something, that killed her, but in the TV series, it was translated into like somebody, because I'm not going to tell you who the killer is, stabbing a knitting needle in her neck, and it was just the kind of like nuance change, I guess. They weren't like huge changes, but they were very, very good visually, I thought. I don't think they took anything away from the story or the book. And the ending in particular, like, I'm trying to put this across in a way that doesn't spoil it, but the ending where the killer in the book writes a letter confessing their crimes, and you know that they are the person that murdered all these people, that is changed in the TV series to them walking in and confessing to the last victim when you think it's all over. And I thought that even though it was quite a severe difference to the book, I thought visually it was a brilliant change to make, because the shock factor was fantastic, and the sort of the dramatism and the whole, like, when I first saw it, I was like absolutely rooted to my seat. Like, I couldn't, it was fantastic. I was just absolutely overcome with shock. I think that it was a really, really good change, and it was actually like quite, I would say, quite genius. And I still don't think it took anything away from the book. So yeah, there are some changes, but I think they are all worthwhile and they are all still executed brilliantly. They all just seem very purposeful. Now, I will give you a small spoiler in the fact that there is a romance kind of thing between Aidan Turner's character and Maeve Dermody's character that sort of is sparked up. Kind of weird when you're in a murder situation that you would be getting it on, but that's just my opinion. I do think it was an interesting development that was entirely different from the book, so that's another change. But was it necessary? I don't know, but maybe I think visually for the plot it was entertaining and it was an exciting development. It kind of added more complexity and depth to the characters and the situation they were in, which I thought was good. But yeah, I just thought I'd notify you all about that little change and what I thought of it. But no, I love everything about this miniseries. I think it was just the whole mood of it, the sort of melancholy, isolated, dark feel to it was fantastic. The adaptation from Christie's novel was brilliant. The characters were so well rounded and well executed, and the script was phenomenally acted by the cast. I don't think you could have got a better cast to play these characters, and it just left you feeling very, very suspenseful. It was 3 hours of just sheer like stress, really. It was very, very intense, but in a brilliant way, and I would definitely recommend this series to anyone. It's fairly gory, but you know, it's a murder mystery, so expect that. But I think I just want everybody who hasn't watched this to watch it, and I hope anyone who has seen it will have enjoyed it as much as I did. I've got a fair few friends that I know that absolutely loved this series as well, and I hope that the BBC do more Agatha Christie adaptations in the future. I think there is one coming up, actually. Whether it lives up to this one, I don't know, but I think it is a phenomenal Christie adaptation, and yes, I would recommend that anyone who hasn't seen it watch it immediately, because I absolutely love it. So today's review was a little bit different. It was a TV review, but if you guys have any other movie reviews for me that you want me to watch in the future, just leave a comment down below and I will do my very best to answer them and execute them for you. And a like and a subscribe would always be very, very lovely, but that is up to you. I hope you enjoyed this review very much, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!